funny thing is,
What?
it's
What's
just
the
not
funny
even
thing?
OT3.
You're right, that is funny.
Why don't you find out if it's
I can do OT3. Why does the Church of Scientology
okay, OT3 is a wall of fire, right?
I know.
It's basically something that happened a long time ago that's still having an effect here. Now, this whole thing about the body Satans and all that stuff, I don't even know where that came from.
Then why does Scientology try to take it down as copyright? They say that it's copyright protected and you're not allowed to distribute.
Because it's libel. When you put
No, but
something...
they don't take it down as libel. They don't
It
sue
is.
for libel.
It
But
is.
they don't sue for libel. They sue under copyright law. Why is that?
Copyright.
Okay.
They're not saying it's incorrect.
Two ways of doing it. If you throw around something, right, as being truth or wrong, or libel or not, right? If you try and say something's libel, you've got to have a really fucking big bank account to do it.
Yeah,
if you take it down for copyright, well, it is.
No, but can you explain to me why the church argues that it's copyright? They're saying that it's correct and you're not allowed to distribute it. That's what they're saying when they sue using copyright law. Why do they do that if it's not true?
It's not true, though.
Okay, but then why does your church use copyright law?
Okay, OT3. OT3 is a copyrighted word, name, the whole lot. Trademark. You can't use that.
But OT3 is just one word.
OT3, it's like...
It's not like,
you know, it's like Kunikinya. You try and use that word all over the place. You try putting that over the place and saying whatever you want about it, what the hell do you think they're going to do?
What I'd like to know is
You
every
start
single
saying
OT that's
these-
left the church,
Hey?
every single OT that's left the church confirms that this is exactly what it is. I mean, they can't all be lying.
Is it during OT3, operating Thetan level 3, that level of study, that they hit you with the story about Xenu the alien? The church says publicly it's nonsense. Yet those who've been in the church say when you reach the level of study known as operating Thetan level 3, Xenu appears. Confirmed by our whistleblower. What about Xenu?
Well, that's basically the OT3 level. You don't encounter that in the church until you get to OT3, and then when you get to it, it's confidential, so you can't talk about it. And David Graham, a former top Scientologist in the United States. I have to ask, is OT3 where they hit you with the story about Xenu the alien?
Yeah. OT3 is the Xenu story.
And now Jason Begay, who passed OT3 and went on to pass level 5.
So that's when you first come into contact with the Xenu story.
Have you done OT3 yourself?
Like I said to the other guy, it's personal.
Right, but it's a simple question,
But it's also personal.
But
So if
I won't hold it against you or anything.
If I decide to say yes or no, at the end of the day it's personal, and I don't have to give that
you don't have to,
information
but just to yourself, if you haven't done OT3, then you can't say for certain that it doesn't have body Satans, doesn't have Xenu, if you haven't done it yourself. But if you haven't done it yourself, you can't say. If you haven't done it yourself,
You're telling us then that it is.
yourself.
That you have done OT3, saying that it doesn't.
Look, here's the problem. I say one thing and you say another, right? You've got information that you say is absolutely correct. I say I've got information that is absolutely correct. There's obviously some sort of point along the line where there is something that's not true.
Of course,
now,
we have the evidence that says it is true, and you don't have anything. Sorry, that's the
well,
fact.
hang on a sec. This is the thing that I don't understand. You say you've got evidence, right?
Yes,
now, you've
we
got
have
these
the documents and everyone's confirming that it's true.
Well, where are they? Now, where's the OT3 actual material that you're supposed to have?
It was entered into evidence.
For one thing.
No, it wasn't, you see. And do you know why?
Why?
It comes under parishioner counselor confidential service. You cannot. If the church is
but
a
the
church,
documents were entered into evidence.
No, they're not.
And they were on the public record.
They're not. See, the point of the fact is that they're not, simply because it comes under counselor and parishioner confidentiality.
Right, but
it's like a difference between a lawyer and his own client. Whatever he says to the lawyer is between him and the lawyer.
But
right?
what has that got to do with the authenticity of the documents that were entered into evidence?
But That's what I'm saying. It wouldn't be allowed to. It's inadmissible in court. You can't.
No, it is admissible because it was relevant to
No, it's not,
case,
because
and he entered it in his deposition.
Anything.
And the Church of Scientology has consistently
why don't you go and do your law degree and find out exactly what it is that you're talking about? Because anything that it comes under that heading, confidentiality between a parishioner.
But this was not a details of an auditing session. This was just simply the policy, the scripture document, OTIII.
It wouldn't be. That's what I'm trying to say. That's a confidential material between the church and its parishioners. It's not allowed to be entered into court. You've got to look up the privacy laws. You've got to look those things up. The simple fact the judge would go, this is what? Throw it out.
But it was entered and it was accepted.
It wasn't, and it wasn't, and it wouldn't have been.
No.
And what happened to that case anyway?
I'm talking about the facts. You go look at the court.
What happened to that case anyway?
Go and look.
What happened to that case?
Look,
it was thrown out of court.
You can go and
It was thrown out of court. Why? Because it was based on fallacy and lies.
What about are you talking about?
One was the OTIII material. Anyway, gentlemen, I do have to be somewhere. Fantastic arguing with you guys.
Thank you very much. I'm sad I missed out on it. I'd love to go toe to toe with you.